Hey there, it's EnderVerse. 2 months later, we're back on the second episode of the RPG mod series. Sit tight as there are 20 more mods to enhance boss fights, exploration, and magic amongst other things. Now let's dive into the video. First we have the Graveyard, a mod filled with content having to do with cemeteries and the residents of said cemeteries. The mod added a lot of new structures to find, from small leftover burials to huge graveyards with several sites. These are very dangerous places to dwell. Ghouls, revenants, and nightmares amongst other monsters can arise, so come prepared. There's also an endgame boss here called the Corrupted Champion, a scary behemoth that undergoes a few phases, becoming more and more threatening as it loses health. This mod is quite engaging. There is just so much content, so many different interactions to have with some of the mobs, and a long process to awaken the boss I had just showcased. So it will get you immersed in the role of a spirit detective. Glimmering Tales is a very interesting new mod that revolves around magic. I was baffled by the amazing quality and impact of the spellcasting here. It's a truly spectacular show that makes this mod irresistible. To obtain the rules necessary to perform any magical attack, you need to set up some sort of rituals. Again, with an equally gratifying outlook, but more importantly, with a deep progressive system that gets you engulfed on the mod. The author has provided an easy to make guidebook. This way you don't get scrambled by all the rituals. And I believe this to be an excellent mod if you'd like to assume the role of a spellcaster and an element mender as well. Dungeon's Delight is a Farmer's Delight add-on that is fit for this video, as it allows you to use monster organs for various cooking recipes. This in turn motivates you to go hunt monsters for their meat and organs, which in turn makes you into a monster hunter. And voila, an RPG element that is worth adding to your mod pack. Next up, we have an awesome mod that will add huge skeletons to your world, spawning randomly during nighttime. These skeletons are quite dangerous. They can grab and bite you, and no matter how powerful your armors are, you're always guaranteed to die from that attack. So it's wise to run away whenever you spot some of these abominations. I have no suggestions besides adding different more attacks the skeletons would use before it grabs and bites the player. This way they become more meaningful, rather than being wall-of-the-walls killing machines. Hadean Breath mod offers a new adventure located on the Nether. When you get to this structure, you will have to fight an army of flame tusks, in addition to mini bosses that are going to give you a hard time. It's obvious the author didn't use some leftover skill to make said mini bosses. They've been designed with care, and the fight here is engaging and spectacular. The main boss, the Enforcer, is the real deal. He uses both magic and martial art. Throughout the fight, he launches a barrage of flaming projectiles, punching you and kicking you here and there, before jumping at you and delivering fatal consecutive punches. The second phase of this boss includes a change in fighting style, as he will become a swordsman, slashing you with a big red sword, along with using his magical abilities to magnify the damage of that sword. The battle here is gruesome, but the rewards are quite handsome, more handsome than any boss loot I've ever seen before. This mod is wonderful, but the mod page doesn't give the actual work any justice. There is little to no information on how to summon the boss. I had to write a command to summon it, so please, add some guides in-game or on the mod page. Both works. Star Wars expansion introduces plenty of features from said universe. Weapons like lightsabers and laser guns, spaceships and walking machines, Jedi clothes, trooper suits, and astromech droids amongst other things. The mod even includes new dimensions and huge temples from the franchise, with human residents and wild animals too, all helping to solidify the experience even more. The only issue I have with this mod is how some spaceships and rockets attack back. Which is weird, I thought this was a thing, not a person. But apart from this, you'll find Star Wars expansion an excellent mod if you wish to play the role of a Jedi survivor. Next up, we have a very entertaining RPG mod that adds 10 mini bosses and 1 full-blown boss to the game. This mod revolves around factions. Throughout your journey, you'll find different new camps with a chance of also finding some of the mini bosses. What I loved about these enemies is their attacking styles, as well as their animations. Some can maneuver very skillfully, others shoot from afar, some are specialized in brute force attacks, and a few of them have magical abilities such as element bending. Defeating the mini-bosses grants you new items that you can use to summon the main boss, the Forsaken Magus. He's mainly specialized in casting spells, but he's so good at it that it makes up for his lack of melee attacks. The spells originate from 3 elements and are quite powerful that even with a full netherite armor, 3 hits are all that needed to finish you off. This mod is for Fabric, but it doesn't stop it from being viable. The performance on Fabric is a lot better, and popular mods are starting to port over to that mod loader, so I can see some people using it on the list. Legendary Armory allows you to obtain hundreds of new items and weapons inspired by the game Zelda. The author intended the mod to be solely about exploration, so they made the items impossible to craft. Instead, you are out to explore the new structures to find them, as well as exploring the vanilla structures too. There's also the chance that you may get the new items from trading, fishing, archaeology, and more. I recommend for the author to enhance the textures and the models of some of the tools. Extra shading and 3D modeling can really bring about a positive change to the mod, but no pressure. This is yet another mod which takes inspiration from an existing game franchise. This time around, it's Dark Souls. The author developed a complete new world filled with enemies, allies, ancient structures, and of course, a boss to tie everything up. The experience is quite engaging. You get to have a lot of the armors and weapons from the original game, as well as fighting monsters and bosses that will push you to your limits. The author is constantly improving the quality of the mod and adding new things along the way. My only suggestion would be to enhance the wall gen bugs. It seems every mod nowadays have them, so it's a good starting point for everyone. Archery expansion is an incredibly sophisticated mod having to do with bows and arrows. For starters, the authors changed how the vanilla bows work, in addition to adding 3 new types of bows: gold, diamond, and netherite enforced bows. Now, the vanilla wooden bows don't slow you down at all, but deal very low amounts of damage and don't reach that far either. Whereas netherite bows slow you down significantly but deal huge amounts of damage and can reach mobs very far away. The author even made some changes to the skeletons, nerfing them and allowing you to break their bows if you deal a crit with an axe. This way they are not as much of a pain in the neck as they are right now. I love all the mods by Infernal Studios. Their projects are often smartly developed. This next mod transforms Minecraft into the Witcher game. The steel and silver swords are there when you first loot the world as a Witcher. You also get to cast all 5 spells. They look wonderful and function like in the original game. The author also added a couple of characters from the game, but not many, and sadly, not the exciting ones like the members of the Wild Hunt. Though the mod is still being developed, so let's keep patience. The Bygone is a mod I showcased a couple of months ago. Ever since its launch, the project received a 180 improvement. New structures were included. Different new biomes with different atmospheres were added, along with new mobs, different new material called the verdigris, and new weapons, tools and items to find, each one unleashing a different quirk upon usage. The author also enhanced existing content. Mobs like the Big Peak look better now. They also have their own armors and fresh new animations as well. I'm quite happy to see this mod being overhauled and improved. I'd only ask the authors for 2 things: bigger structures and boss fights to spice up the experience. This mod is based on the Minecraft Legends game, so there are plenty of examples to draw from. Legendary Monsters is also a boss fight mod, only this one is a lot more exciting and viable as it's working on Forge 1.20.1. The author worked so hard to design so many bosses spread across different biomes and dimensions too. Each boss varies not just in terms of their health and damage, but also in the special debuffs they can inflict on you. The Ancient Garden, for instance, can stun you. The Cloud Golem will rain snow piles on your head, the Frostbitten Golem will naturally freeze you, and a lot more examples to explore for yourself, my friend. There are also many new weapons and tools to craft from defeating these bosses, providing them with extra purpose and utility. Boss fights are among the most enjoyable modding experiences you can have, and adding this many high quality bosses will surely transform your game. ARKANE Domains is also a mod I showcased in the past. Back then, it revolved around one boss in the savannah, but recently, it started to revolve around 2. On the latest update, the author added a new boss called the Cursed Pharaoh. This is a mummified monster that will summon husks and new mobs to fight you, while also being dangerous himself, as he can send you flying on the sky with one of his ground slams. The mod expanded upon the two bosses. They can drop useful tools and weapons that you can find yourself using for the long term, so I would absolutely consider it for a mod pack. Only issue though, the recent structure seems to be placed incorrectly on the world. Sometimes they can be seen flying on the air or are flooded by water, so I wish the author would fix this. Postmortem is a mod that adds a fun spin to death in Minecraft. Upon signing a certain contract, you will be able to respawn as a ghost near your death spot. From there you will have to find a mob to possess. Possessing a mob will allow you to get some of your loot, not all of it. It also has its own limitations, things like reduced health points, inability to regenerate the vanilla way, and for the undead mobs, even incineration when exposed to sunlight. The only way to combat the latter is through wearing a helmet. Eating a reflection apple is the only way you could get back to your body, and I enjoyed the possession part. It's quite entertaining to see what it's like being a zombie or a skeleton. In other words, play a role. So yeah, an excellent option for this video. The only issue I had with this mod is the sheer lag you'll experience when you first load the game. I don't know why it's happening, but I've confirmed that it is from this mod. Foolish is one of the biggest RPG mods on the list. The content here is enough to keep you busy for a long time, including new biomes, structures, mobs that are trying to kill you, and even bosses at the top of the pinnacle. The mod was already great, but this recent update made it better, with most of the content being revamped. My suggestion, however, would be to enhance the color matching of the biomes. Right now, they feel overly colorful and emissive. Also, add a wiki so that people can follow through the mod's progression. Apart from that, this is an incredible mod. Ars Elixirum expands upon the process of brewing in the game, and it does so spectacularly, with awesome new blocks, shelves to store your potions, and a panel to guide you through the process and also show you how many potions you've made so far. This mod doesn't just stop at visuals, you can now create your own unique potions from mixing different random ingredients on this glass cauldron. You can also make different new types of totems, and even create brand new potion effects as well. Brewing in the game is already a fun thing to do, but with this mod, you take that to the next level, and it's an excellent way to assume the role of the alchemist. This mod will add new structures that utilize content from many different RPG mods, amongst which there is a zoo for Alex's mobs and the naturalist mod, witch towers for Ars Nouveau, artistic monuments for Create, energy posts for immersive engineering, and more. I like mods like integrated dungeons and structures, but for people seeking a mod that is lighter, and a mod that gives you the option to choose which supported mod to include and not to include, this will be the most ideal mod. However, I have to once again point out the common structure bug. Please take care of it. Clothing of the Lowlands is a mod that will grant you tons of new armor sets that you can craft early game. These armors look incredible, and some of them could even get you special effects like water breathing and dolphin grace, making them useful even after you've got yourself a netherite armor. The strongest set only gives 7 points of armor, so my only suggestion would be to add new sets of armors with stronger properties that require materials like netherite or materials as rare as netherite. Aside from that, I really love this mod. Boss Rifts, just like Compat Structures, is a mod about enhancing the experience of other mods. This time, it's about boss fight projects. As the name implies, there will be boss rifts that spawn right after defeating a boss. When you hold right click it, it will charge up before sending you back to your spawn point. This mod can be plenty helpful. Sometimes you could just find yourself with so much loot after conquering a boss dungeon, and you just need to store those items in your house. These rifts will give you a quick ride back home. Last episode featured a mod that recreates Elden Ring, another that recreates BloodBorn, and one that recreates Terraria. The common thing between them is of course their RPG element, so I wouldn't miss episode 1. Like and subscribe as this can help both of us. I get more friends and you get more videos. I hope it's a deal you are willing to take. Now see ya in the next one, my friend.